Just letting you neighborinos know that you can pre-order my book Simpsons Secret on Amazon today. The link is in the description below. Ahoy, it's Lydia here from The Simpsons Theory. Apu Nahasapeemapetilon, yeah, I had to pronounce it someday, is a self-made man, small business owner, as well as a proud father of 8. Starting his new life as an immigrant in a foreign country, he built a success with hard work. But he's got a life too. When he's not defending his store against robbers and high school bullies, you can find him at the bowling alley with the pin pals, or putting out flames as a firefighter.
You ducks are really trying my patience! But you're so cute.
In today's video, we'll be diving into his rockstar career, his marriage to Manjula, and the octuplets. So without further ado, this is the complete Apu timeline. Now, it's impossible to talk about Apu without bringing up his controversy and Hank Azaria's decision to step down from voicing him. It's a complicated situation that I won't be getting into, but if you're interested in hearing more, then check out the video in the iCard, because in this video, we'll be focusing on the in-universe timeline of the character of Apu and not the behind-the-scenes stuff. Now we've got that out of the way, let's begin. Apu's early years and life in India. In India, Apu grew up in a Brahmin family, living with his parents and brothers until coming to America. In the series, we only meet one of his brothers, Sanjay, and Sanjay can often be seen working alongside his brother in the Kwik-E-Mart. When Apu was just 8 years old, an arranged marriage was set up by his parents and their friends to wed their third daughter. And so Apu's path of love was paved, or so his parents thought. A bit later on, Apu was a student of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, an Indian guru known for developing and popularizing transcendental meditation. During this time, he also became a vegan and met Linda and Paul McCartney, and he became, in his own words, the fifth Beatle.
Sure you were, Apu.
Coming to America. Apu was a gifted student and the brightest mind amongst the 7 million other kids at Calcutta Technical University. Therefore, he got accepted for graduate study in the USA. Upon his arrival into America, he enrolled in the Springfield Heights Institute of Technology and was taught by Professor Frank. After 9 long years, he completed his PhD, and his thesis led him on to create the hardest and the first in the world tic-tac-toe program, just in time for Alberto to ruin. During this time, he took a job in the Kwik-E-Mart to pay off his student loans. This is a job that would surpass this reasoning. This is because his visa expired, and Apu, being so attached to his American dream, stayed as an illegal immigrant. It could be suggested that he stayed in this job as going into another would raise concerns about his citizenship. A shame, as a mind like that could have solved so many of Springfield's problems. It's an understatement to say that Apu is completely committed to his job, but he did take a super quick break to party with Sanjay, and he even took one even earlier in the mid-80s to travel around the world with his band the B Sharps. The B Sharps was a group that consisted of Homer, Barney and Skinner, and their smash hit Baby on Board catapulted them into stardom, and they became so popular that they even named their second album Bigger Than Jesus. But stardom also led to Apu having to hide his heritage from the press upon the advice of their manager.
Isn't it true that you're really an Indian?
By the many arms of Vishnu, I swear it is a lie.
After this big stardom, the band unfortunately disintegrated, and Apu came back to the Kwik-E-Mart.
It may not be glamorous, but it's good, honest work.
How much is this quart of milk?
$12.
But do not fear, Apu brushing shoulders with the likes of Paul McCartney and singing sensation Barney Gumble influenced him to pursue more musical ambitions, as he and Homer would later form a new garage band together called Covercraft. And his amazing voice later led him to join the 80s glam rock band Sunglazer, where he got stuck into a contract which was a bit fiddly. But after feeding them some dodgy hot dogs, he reformed Covercraft and played to a sold-out arena. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the video, then please consider subscribing to the Simpsons Theory. Only 13% of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the channel, but when you click that sexy red button, it lets YouTube know that you like my videos and recommends my channel to more and more people. So thank you, I really do appreciate it. Anyway, back to the video. Becoming an American citizen. Apu originally came to America on legal terms, but years later he was now an illegal immigrant in the land of the supposed free.
It may astonish you to learn that I am an immigrant.
But Apu's American dream burst when a bear wandered into town. This bear launched Springfield into panic mode and the creation of the Special Bear Patrol and a further $5 tax increase.
Bear Patrol tax $5? What? This is an outrage!
And of course, the public were absolutely fuming and so started another riot to cancel this extortionate tax. To appease the mob, Mayor Quimby shifted the blame on illegal immigrants. Therefore, the Springfield government initiated the referendum called Proposition 24 to kick out all of the immigrants from this city. And Apu had no choice but to turn to the mafia for a new personality. He paid $2,000 for a fake ID, stating he was the son of Americans Judy and Herb Nahasapeemapetilon from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I guess Fat Tony wasn't feeling too creative that day. But alas, this new life didn't bring Apu the happiness he craved, and all the flags, cowboy hats, and facts about Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise couldn't heal that wound. This is because Apu values his heritage, so he couldn't just ignore his entire culture.
Look at me! I betrayed my Indian heritage, sir!
Therefore, Lisa suggests that Apu should take a test to become a legal American citizen, and Apu was sure that he couldn't possibly pass this test as Homer was his tutor. But let's not forget that Apu was the brightest student in Caltech, so he passed with flying colors and started his new life as an Indian American.
Today I am truly an American citizen.
Although Proposition 24 passed in the end, Apu was already a citizen, so he was A-OK, unlike Willie.
Ingrates.
In a lazy town full of Homers and Wiggums, Apu is the hardest worker in Springfield. He loves his job despite having the most dangerous in town. He is robbed daily, and Apu admitted to being shot 8 times in 1 year alone.
And as a result, I almost missed work. Crybaby.
Loyal to his company, he didn't hesitate to jump in front of a bullet for a fellow Kwik-E-Mart worker. And come on, admit it, you thought Mole Man had it bad. But you can bet that bullets won't stop Apu from working 7 days a week and restocking expired food. Whether that be changing the date on a milk carton or 5-year-old ham. That is the Kwik-E-Mart's policy after all, but they do draw a line at getting caught. As when Apu was caught selling a dropped crusty wiener, he was fired from his beloved job.
You can no longer wear this name patch.
And so he lived with the Simpsons for a short while, and although he did try to hide it, Apu missed the Kwik-E-Mart.
He lied to us through song. I hate when people do that.
In order to get his job back, he needed to seek out the Kwik-E-Mart CEO. So he and Homer traveled all the way up to the top of the Himalayas to visit the world's first convenience store. When they arrived, the CEO said that they could only ask 3 questions, and in typical fashion, Homer spoiled everything.
Are you really the head of the Kwik-E-Mart?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You?
Apu did eventually get his job back when he saved the life of fellow Kwik-E-Mart worker James Woods, and all was right with the world once more. But Apu has a bit more going on than the Kwik-E-Mart. He also runs the official Halloween headquarters, which is a seasonal pop-up shop, and bowls with his mates the Pin Pals, with Homer, Moe, and Otto. He was so good in fact that he was also asked to join the Stereotypes bowling team too.
Oh, they begged me to join their team. Begged me.
Apu's love for his convenience store is something bigger than workaholism. It's the true love of his life. That was until Manjula came along. Apu's arranged marriage. Apu was in the prime of his life and a true ladies' man when his mother decided that it was time for her precious boy to finally tie the knot. But Apu had very different plans. As an educated bachelor with a business of his own, Apu attracted many women, and I mean many. In fact, 5 single ladies of Springfield paid $926 just to go on a date with him.
Holy moly!
But with the arrival of a letter from his mum about his arranged marriage, he panicked and asked Homer for advice. In a harebrained scheme, hopefully not plucked from Homer's balding head, Apu pretended to already be married. This lie fell apart when his mum came to America to meet her son's apparent family, consisting of pretend wife Marge and kids Bart, Lisa and Maggie. At first, Apu's mum bought the lie and she accepted Marge as her new daughter-in-law. That is until Apu's mum caught Marge and Homer in bed together.
Marge, how could you?
Oh, Apu, give it up.
With the secret now out, Apu's mum made preparations for Apu's real wedding. Although initially depressed about the arrangement, he soon changed his mind when he first set eyes on Manjula on their wedding day. Hubba hubba. It turns out that they have a lot in common too, so they decide to give it a go. I mean, there is the choice of divorce.
God bless America.
Although his initial reluctance, Apu became a very loving husband. He arranged so many sweet surprises for Manjula, such as getting Elton John to sing for her and coating himself in chocolate.
Oh God, my ears are filled with nougat.
Oh,
Why won't my fiancé do that? Apu's really big bundle of joy. Many newlyweds dream of having children someday, and Apu and Manjula were no different. But they had some troubles with conceiving, so their friends Homer and Marge helped them by slipping Manjula a few fertility drugs. And bada bing bada boo, the octuplets were born into the world.
Pooh, you should have seen your face when they showed you those babies.
At first, Apu and Manjula, with the help of their many sponsors, were doing just fine. But when a woman in Shelbyville gave birth to 9 children, Apu and Manjula lost all help and were left alone with their kids and their mounting diaper bills. As a result, Apu was tired and he dreamt of dying, and the only way out of this ocean of despair and stinky diapers was to give the children up to Mr. Kidkill, the owner of Springfield Zoo.
Please, Larry. Larry Kidkill.
Tired and desperate, the two signed over their babies to him and the kids were put into a show for the public. But Apu and Manjula soon realised their horrible mistake, so Apu and Homer had to break the kids out. Of course, there was a penalty for breaking out the kids, so Homer had to become a part of the show to help out his friend. But this wasn't Homer's first rodeo at the zoo after all. But even though Apu loved his wife a great deal, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage, and Apu cheated on his wife by sleeping with the squishy lady Annette. When Homer had to return a beer keg, he caught Apu doing the nasty with Annette in the back room. Marge forced Homer to confront Apu and make him confess to cheating on Manjula, but Apu chickened out, leaving Manjula to witness the act on the store security camera tapes. Apu moved out of their home and lived a miserable life. Homer and Marge did try to arrange their reconciliation, but Manjula wanted that good old American divorce. But after meeting with an eccentric and evil lawyer, she decided to give Apu another chance. But she didn't let him go too lightly. To make up for his wrongdoings, Manjula gave him a long list of things to do to win her back, and Apu did everything on the list, becoming a New Yorker published author, changed his name to Slime Q Slime Dog, and performed My Fair Lady with an all-octuplet cast. They still have issues, but Manjula and Apu decides to move back in together to heal their marriage. Apu's later years. Even in his later years, Apu is still running the Kwik-E-Mart, but at least he has his pre-teenage kids to help him run the business, mostly by bullying his employee Bart Simpson. But still. Flash forward again another couple of decades and he now has to deal with an upgraded robotic snake jailbird. But do not fear, Apu and his children are armed to the teeth in order to defend their store. That's a lot of effort for squishies and girly mags. Back at home, Apu thought he would finally get some peace and quiet with his 8 children now grown and finally out of the house. But each of his octuplets had octuplets too, so Apu, ever the busy grandpa, had to look after 64 grandchildren. Now, we don't know how Apu dies, but apparently his head will find its way in the Head Museum in the year 3000. According to Simpsons Wiki, you can see his head in a jar over a few episodes of Futurama, but I'm not sure that's him personally. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know your theories on how he may have died. But for now, that concludes the entire timeline of Apu, and in the words of the esteemed Kwik-E-Mart worker,
Thank you, I'll come again.
and finally, I'd like to say a big thank you to my group of Flying Hellfish members. We have Timothy, who else but Zane, Liam, Charlie, Sean, Andre, Stefan, Vincent, Robert, Ashley, Kevin, Glenford, Devin, Gadrak, Stephen, Edward, Anthony, Nicola, Jeffrey, Dominic, Cody, Aaron, Jakku Star, GameBoss49, Chaz, Jeff, Gil, Shadu, Murray, Paul, Oliver, Henry, Frank, Lucas, Emily, Omar, Eric, Thomas88, Dave, Samantha, Rayleigh, One Drama Boy, Laurent, Alexander, and Daniel.